Hey guys, I want to go some of the gameplays videos for the Chaos Fairy Cat deck that I took to regionals, just to show you guys how the deck works. So I played against a Hero Beat matchup. So the Hero Beat matchup is on the Diva, so it's going to be pretty much a meta deck. So I think I go second against this matchup. So they go first turn Deep Sea Diva into the, I believe they went into a Test or Android, I'm not entirely sure. Since he has the Solemn Judgment, I think he's going to go into the Android here. Yeah, he does. And then he's probably going to set two to back up the Android, and he does that. So my hand's been looking pretty slow against this board, so I decided to set the Sangan here with the Call to Haunted. So this way, if he does summon another monster, I can bluff out the Torrential, so he's more reluctant to summon another monster. So he decided to summon the monster anyways. The reason why I think he does this, from my perspective, is that he either has a Starlight Road set or he has a Solemn Judgment set. I was pretty much guessing that he has the Starlight Road over the Solemn Judgment because usually you don't want to pay half your life points to preserve two cards out of your board. So this kind of tells me that he has a Starlight Road set, but in actuality he actually has the Solemn Judgment set. So there was that. So he decides to attack with the Android first, thinking that it's a Raikou because he doesn't know what I'm playing. So I revealed the Sangan here. So he did the attack order right. Either way, he did the attack order right if the set card was either a hamster or a Raikou. So yeah, so I resolved my Sangan here to search for an angel. So he thinks I'm on Chaos Fairies because I am playing Sangan. So, but he doesn't know what iteration I'm on. Then he attacks directly for 1700. Gilman, for some reason, is really difficult to get rid of because for 1700 attack, I have to waste like resource to get over it. So good on him for summoning a 1700 monster. That's a water. So he sets another back row here. I end phase Call the Haunted because I don't want to get oppression if it is a set oppression that he set. I think I make the deduction here that it's not a Starlight Road and instead is a Solemn Judgment because rarely ever do you ever have Starlight Road in the main deck with oppression. So I flipped the Call the Haunted here on that logical tree. Instead of summoning a Herald of Orange Light to synchro summon, or instead of summoning the Airbellum to synchro summon with the Sangan, I decided to go for the Shadow Monarch play and banish the Android. This way, I force the Bottomless here, and then I at least get a search off this, so this becomes a two for one, because the Sangan here is able to search for a card, and I only wasted one card, and he wastes two cards. So that's a really good trade on my part. The only downside of this is I don't have a board. I mistakenly searched for the Summoner Mug. I don't know why I decided to do this play. If my read on the set was in oppression, I should not have searched for the Summoner Monk in this instance. But well, whatever. Maybe I should have searched for something else. So he draws into a Starlight Road. He actually does play Starlight Road. So I mistakenly think it was a deck that does not play Starlight Road. I don't have a Heavy Storm anyway, so it doesn't matter. Knowing that it is oppression that might potentially be oppression set, I do decide to set the recruiter because recruiters don't interact with oppression. So he attacks here into the Shiny Angel. I had the option here to go into a DD Warrior Lady, so I don't decide to do that because I'd rather go to the Honest here because Honest here is at least able to wall off against an Alias if he ever does to draw into it. Here I have the option of summoning the Shiny Angel and bouncing back my Honest, summoning the Shiny Angel so that I can run over it on the following turn. I think I decided to go for the Mystic Tomato line and setting it so that I could float. I don't think setting the Mystic Tomato was correct here in actuality because I don't have any other targets now because Sangan's in my graveyard and I would only go into a Mystic Tomato anyways, so it's actually incorrect to go there. I should have summoned the Shining Angel. I can bounce the Honest, summon the Shining Angel, attack into the Gilman, or leave it up in attack position. So yeah, then he searches for the Stratos here. Lucky for him, and then I actually have to Herald here because I don't want his Gemini Sparks to be live. So I do that. I also don't want his Hero Blast to be live too, so he's having trouble finding the alias here. So he attacks over the face down monster, which is my tomato. I go into another tomato, my last tomato, and now I still have to deal with a one Gilman. I draw into a Raikou here. I have the option here of summoning the Herald of Orange Light because I don't have another fairy in my hand, so that I can do a synchro play here. So I have to make a synchro play. And even if it is an oppression that he has set, at the very least, I'll have the Honest to wall off against any monster that comes afterwards, except for a Tribute Summon Cyber Dragon. So I didn't anticipate a Cyber Dragon to come down. So I attack over the Gilman. The fact that he doesn't flip any of his trap cards tells me that his sets are really duds. It might be Hero Blast, it might be Gemini Spark, and I can deduce that it was not Oppression, so I decided to attack. And I can also deduce that it's not Mirror Force or Deep Prison, otherwise he would have flipped it. He activates Solid Judgment, so that kind of narrows it down that he does not have, that he had a Solid Judgment instead of the Starlight Road. He special summons Cyber Dragon here, and then he attacks from my Honest. Mistakenly, I should have bounced back the Honest, because at least I would have an Honest in my hand in the event that I draw into a light monster. So he sets another back row here, and I go straight into battle phase without summoning a monster. Even though I deduced that it was not a Mirror Force, I still want to just give credit that this might be a drawn Mirror Force. So he shouldn't have set another back row because I deduced that these two cards were not Mirror Force or Deep Prison because I attacked over his Gilpin. So maybe he didn't feel threatened, but it's still a good logical deduction to use the Mirror Force on the Goyo Guardian anyways. So he shouldn't have set this back row because I was full-heartedly going to summon the Arabellum here and then attack, and then he would have got a 2-for-1 on the Mirror Force. But then I attack and then I get the Mirror Force. I summon the Arabellum here afterwards in main phase 2, hoping that this was a Mirror Force or Deep Prison, so that I can make a Bryanak and then bounce back my Call of Haunted. He does bottomless the Spine Gilman, and I pass turn here. He luckily draws into an E-Call, and he gets the Alias to make his Gemini Spark live. So really bad for me on this part. And he actually has lethal here with the Miracle Fusion because he can just attack with the Alias and then do 4,600 damage exactly for lethal. So pretty bad game for me. I think he luck sacked me on a lot of aspects. So I'll call this game a sack game. On game 2, I decided to side out. I didn't side out the Christia. This was my inexperience talking. I should have sided out the Christia, and in my deck profile, I mentioned that you should always side out Christia against the Hero Beat matchup anyways. So I set a Deep Prison here, or I set a Dust Tornado along with the Shining Angel. The reason why I summon Shining Angel in attack position is because oftentimes Hero Beat will side in Nullman or Crossout, and Nullman or Crossout is really devastating against Recruiter decks because they also side this against any deck such as Raiko and Hamster, so I make the deduction that they'll side in the Nullman Crossout, and lo and behold, they actually drew the Crossout, so this was a good play on my part to summon the Shining Angel in attack position rather than set the Shining Angel. And seeing as my hand has a lot of non-recruiter monsters afterwards, it's likely that it's most likely a good play to summon the recruiter in attack position. I unfazed Dust Tornado here. He took a while to set the second back row, so I made the read that maybe he wanted to preserve the Deep Prison first, so he was trying to bluff me into thinking that the first set was a good card, and it ended up actually being a good card. So what I should have done was Dust Tornadoing his Compulsory, and then normally Extermination his Prison, because Prison is actually really good against the Recruiter deck. So I ended up Noman to cross out his last back row, and then I attacked directly for 1400. Okay, and then I set the bottomless trap hole here. I don't know if it's actually ever correct to side out bottomless trap hole against the Diva Hero Beat matchup because they can still summon Diva and go into Catastor, and then I'll have an answer to the Catastor. So yeah, even if he can summon an Alias and Gemini Spark, it's two cards that he has to have. So I always keep the bottomless in. Here I make the mistake of setting the Nova Summoner when I should have summoned it. Maybe I was trying to play it around the Torrential, so maybe I was playing around the Torrential, but in actuality it was bad because he can just Nova cross out my Nova Summoner and I'll have less monsters. So I think he does that first, and then he summons the Alias. I try to trick him into using the Gemini Spark before damage calculation. So I asked him if we were going to damage calculation, and he actually activates the Gemini Spark, which in actuality this is actually a 1-for-1. Even though I had the bottomless trap hole, I didn't want to flip it because he might have the Gemini Spark. But him resolving the first Gemini Spark means that he's unlikely to have the second Gemini Spark if he ever does decide to summon an Alias. Even if he goes to damage calculation and I don't have the Honest, I can actually go into DD Warrior Lady and attack over the Alias and then banish the Alias so that his Hero Blast is not live anymore. I draw into a dead card, so then I just pass here, and then he draws into the Snowmander, but I think he summons the Fossil Dyna here. And the Fossil Dyna is able to do a direct attack on me because it is under 1500 attack, and I take 1200 damage. So for turn after turn, I try to summon monsters to run over the Falsadina, but he has an out to the Shiny Angel by Hero Blasting my Shiny Angel. So I'm in a pretty bad position here, but at least by bottomlessing the Alias here, he won't be able to Gemini Spark anything for value. So he'll be able to lose the Alias. But I'm still under Falsadina, so I won't be able to switch some of the Gores. He sets on the back row. I draw into Decree here, which is a good timing for me. I set the Decree here, and then hopefully I was able to scare him into thinking it's a Torrential. He does not care. So him not caring leads me to believe that one of his sets is Starlight Road or Solemn Judgment, and it is neither or. So he's just, you know, hoping that I don't have any back row to respond to it. But I guess in actuality, this is good for him that I torrential here because he does have the Miracle Fusion, and he could easily make a Gaia to do more damage anyway. So also Stratos is a +1 too, so it's always correct to normal summon the Stratos here, even if there's a torrential anyways. He attacks with the Falso Dyna, and he attacks with Stratos. I take 3,000 damage. I luckily draw into a tuner the next turn, which is the Arabellum, but I made this read that he might have a Solemn Judgment set and not a Miracle Fusion in hand. So I flipped the Decree first before I summon, just so he doesn't Solemn Judgment my Arabellum. I then attack over the Falso Dyna. Even if he does have the Book of Moon to set the Arabellum, I would actually, if it was a Book of Moon, I'd be bad, but I don't think I'd be in a bad position. But I don't think that the Hero Beat matchup plays Book of Moon in this situation or in most deck lists. And then main phase two, I use the Mind Control to take the Stratos, as he does not have any way to clear the Arabellum, and I Synchro Summon into the Black Rose here. Because I have the Gores in hand, I decided to blow up the field so that I could bring down the Gores and then tribute for Christia. He activates the Miracle Fusion, and he does not have a water monster. I don't know why he doesn't normal summon the Snowmaner to make the Absolute Zero, but maybe he wants to go for lethal because it is lethal with the Alias in his hand. But I have the Gores here to special summon and block out the attack. I put the Gores in a defense position because I don't want him to. Um, why did I put it in defense position? Yeah, there was no reason to put in defense position here because he could have boosted. No, it's good to put in defense position in case he plays a random shrink. He attacks over the set monster, and then he sets a deep prison, I believe it was. A dust tornado. Okay. So here I have to win the game. Otherwise, I'm pretty much in the back foot here. So instead of attacking to the alias, I read that his card in hand wasn't honest, but there's nothing I could do if it wasn't honest because he's gonna win anyways. So what I do is I try to attack over the Gaia first because it is the biggest monster, and then he takes the 500. And to play around the honest, I'm forced to tribute for Caius here, and so I banished the alias. The set card was not nothing to worry about. I activate the Avarice here to get back in the game, which is good for me. This way I can draw an extra 2 cards. And since I already normal summon, I won't be able to normal summon anything. I unfortunately don't have any more monsters in my graveyard, so maybe this should have been sided out. So this is my inexperience talking. Then I set the Haunted. He Dust Tornadoes the Haunted, so that's fine anyways. So it ended up being a Dust Tornado bait. He has this. He draws into the Cyber Dragon, sets the Snowmander. Good on him to do that because if he special summons Cyber Dragon, I would have 100% attacked over the Cyber Dragon. So then I attack over the Snowmander, and then I set the Tomato and set the Dust Tornado. He draws into the Mirror Force, special summons the Cyber Dragon, beats over my Tomato. I think I had the option to go into the Summoner Monk here, but I don't have a spell card. Because if I had the Summoner Monk here, I would have been able to use the effect, pitch a spell, blow up 2 back rows, and then tribute for Christia. So he sets a Mirror Force here, and I go into the Tomato line, which is safer. I Dust Tornado in the end phase, and then I have a DD War Lady. I don't have enough light points. Actually, I do have enough light points to attack into the Cyber Dragon and attack directly with the Mystic Tomato. But I decide I'd rather have the light points, and then I just set. If he draws into a spell or trap, which is likely because he's playing Hero Beat, and if he attacks the Tomato, I can go into a Sangan and then tribute for Christia. But he draws into a mole. He does the attack order wrong. He should have attacked the mole into the set. You always attack the mole into the set and then bounce it back to the hand because it could be a flip effect that you might regret. But he does the wrong play and he attacks the DD Warrior Lady, luckily for me. And then I banish the Cyber Dragon. And then he attacks the Mystic Tomato, but then he recalls the attack and I let him do it. And then I just let him have the mole. Because in actuality, if he does bounce the mole back to the tomato back, I can just normal summon the tomato and attack him directly with 14, which is incorrect. So what I do is I just shift to attack position, bounce back the mole, and then set the tomato. Maybe I actually should have. Oh, I saw the new two Nolman and crossouts, so I decided to set the tomato so I can preserve life points. Nobody sides 3 Nolman and crossout. That's just bad. He runs into the Typhoon. He activates the Typhoon to deal with my decree, summons the mole, and he bounces it back to my hand, which is incorrect. Because if he believes that, like on an earlier turn he attacked with a mole, but now he's attacking the mole, so that just feels incorrect to me. I look at his draw into the air balance to punish the play, but even if he didn't summon the tomato, even if he doesn't attack, I would have flipped the tomato, attacked into the grand mole, bounce it back, attack directly, and he loses the mole anyways, so I guess it's correct. But luckily for me, I draw into the air bellum. He takes 16, I discard a card. I'm fully anticipating a top deck miracle, but what are you going to do? I really don't have any other option. Hopefully he doesn't have anything. He draws into the Solemn Judgment, he sets it. I draw into Summoner Monk. I think I check his graveyard for a Mirror Force. He doesn't have Mirror Force, so it's always correct for me to summon the tomato. I don't think they play Torrential, and I want to pretty much end the game as quickly as possible. So I summon the tomato here to go for 3,000. Even if he Solemn Judgments, he'll not have enough life points to stop the air bell. All right, game 3 goes to me, or game 2 goes to me, and game 3 starts. And so I go second. Yeah, and I draw pretty okay. He draws pretty bad because he doesn't have an e-call. That's why I don't like Hero Beat, because they don't draw e-calls. I side into the pulling rug, even though he might use up the shadows on the first turn of his on the first turn of the game. He still has Deep Sea Diva because I did see the Gilmans going into the first game. So I summon the Sangan here and attack him directly, hoping to bait out any sort of deep prisons. It is not a deep prison, so that leads me to believe that it might be a Dust Tornado or MST. In the event that it is, I'll always have a Gorge to back up the Sangan. He MSTs in the end phase. He special summons the Cyber Dragon. Uh, him not having a hero monster tells me that he is monster starved. So I search for the Rescue Cat here. This way I could I think I searched for Rescue Cat. Yeah. This way I can break control. Uh, so I draw a Dust Tornado for turn. I could summon the Rescue Cat and then go into double Air Villain to attack his hand, but I don't want to play into the Mirror Force, so what I do is I just break control, and then I think I attack for 21 first. And no, actually he compulsories. Okay, perfect. So here I'm forced to go into the Rescue Cat play, and hopefully he doesn't have the Oppression, and he does not. And even if he does have the Oppression here, he would not be able to special summon the Cyber Dragon the following turn. So yeah, and in the event that this attack can actually go through, I can Synchro Summon in main phase 2. I don't want to go into the double air bill. He Mirror Forces here, and then I set the Dust Tornado. Oh, I don't set the Dust Tornado because he doesn't have a back row for me to hit on the declaration of attack. He sets his Dust Tornado. I draw my Cyber Dragon because I saw him side Cyber Dragon, or main deck it. I set the Dust Tornado. Dust Tornado is my back row. Summons the Giannis, attacks for 11. I drop the Gores here, and so I'm in a really good spot with the Caius. And he doesn't have a back row, which he should have bluff set. I think he should have bluff set the No Mana Crossout, but then again, I could have banished it anyways. Yeah, no, I would have banished the Cyber Dragon. So I luckily drawn to the MST, and he does bluff set the No Mana Crossout. I sacrifice for Caius, banish it, and attack for 5,100 damage. And that's game. Oh, never mind, it's not game. He has 7,000 life points. Alright, he draws into the skill drain. He sets the Honest. I don't care. I straight go into battle phase because I do have the Cyber Dragon anyways, and he's behind on card advantage. If he does Mirror Force, he'll be at 4. Actually, I'd be behind, but it doesn't matter. I try to end the game as quickly as possible because I don't want to give him another option. So yeah, I win the game here against the Diva Hero Beat. So this deck is actually very capable of beating the Diva Hero Beat deck, even with a bad or slower start, because Air Bellum is able to hit the cards out of the hand. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to go into the next gameplay, so stay tuned for that one. Alright, this is going to be another gameplay video. For this iteration of Chaos Fairy Cat, I actually played the Dark Arm because I was on full tomato lines, and there was no other dark target, so In the future, I actually decided to take out the Dark Arm because I'm too reliant on Mystic Tomatoes to resolve, so that I can special summon Dark Arm. So I decided to take out Dark Arm. But against this matchup, I want to show you guys what the deck is like against the Hero Frog matchup. So just to show you what happens. He summons the Substitute into the Swap Frog, dumps the Treeborn, and he sets the Dust Shoot. Flips the Dust Shoot, and I think he chooses the Herald of Orange Light so that I won't be able to interact with his board. I set my Dust Shoot and Bottomless because even if he storms me, I can just flip the Dust Shoot. So I Dust Shoot him so that he can lose his Caius. And his Treeborn comes out in the standby phase. And I think that's kind of a mistake. Just because I could summon a DD Warrior Lady and banish it. But he does this, he summons a Swap Frog here. Just dump the another Treeborn, so I guess he's safe to that. Even if I does summon a DD Warrior Lady. I draw into a Chaos Sorcerer, so I'm drawing pretty badly here. And I pass here. But he's also drawing pretty bad as well, so he's just going to summon the Swap Frog and start beating me down, which is good for me. Bounces back, and I think he sets the... I don't think he sets anything. He has 6 cards in hand. I draw into another Herald of Orange Light. I still don't have a play, so this is a really bad hand. This is one of the games where I decided to cut Dark Arm because of this hand. If Dark Arm was a recruiter, I would have probably had a play. Activates Reinforcement of the Army, searches for Stratos, normal summons Stratos, searches for... Oh, a Herald here. So I Herald here because I don't want him to search for Malicious Edge, because Malicious Edge is really good against Recruiter decks to be able to pierce me. He activates the Miracle Fusion here and goes into the Absolute Zero. And I take 20, or I take 3,000 because of the Treeborn Frog. And I have Avarice here. I don't have enough, so I made a defeat. Pretty bad hand on my part going first, so I decided to side into the Pulling the Rugs. Okay, I side into Soul Release. I actually don't side this anymore, but I just want to show you guys the power of this deck. Soul Release is a spell card that I can use to pitch off a Summoner Monk, so I'm fully hoping that he attacks over the Mystic Tomato here, and he does because he summons the Stratos here, and then this way I'm able to make a play with Summoner Monk. So the cool thing about Summoner Monk, I failed to mention this in my deck profile, is that he can't be tributed. So if he brain controls the Summoner Monk, he won't be able to do anything since he's playing the Hero Frog matchup. I don't think he has another level 4 monster in his deck, so he's not be able to pitch a card out of his hand to bring out a level 4. And even if he does, I get the Summoner Monk back, so that's fine for me. Now I make the cool play. I was also on Ultimate Offering for this one, so don't play Ultimate Offering in this deck. You don't need to use it. Playing Real Traps is better. I go into the double air barrel play, and I actually take the Stratos here, so that I can take out 2 cards out of his hand. This pretty much makes it so that he has to have Battle Fader. If he does not, then I'm taking 2 cards out of his hand. And I do. This is one of the reasons why I really love Arabellum in this deck, is because Arabellum generates a lot of advantage here, and being able to take a card out of his hand against the Hero Frogs is actually really good because you can hit his Miracle Fusion. And so being able to hit Miracle Fusion is kind of the key in this matchup. So I think I take his Frog. So then main phase 2, I think I Synchro Summon into Arcanite Magician, and I Synchro Summon into Black Rose without doing anything. And then I think I have the Tomato in the graveyard, so if he does set a monster, or he makes a Frog line, I can just put an attack position and attack over it. I set the Ultimate Offering here. Unlucky for me, he has the brain control to steal my Arcanite Magician, so he can blow up my back row. But I have the Gores anyways, so that's good for me. And so if he tries to do anything, I can just Gores for the backup. And then he attacks for 400. Yeah, so I take all the damage because I want the biggest Gores token. And then Gores is coming down, which is good. And then I have a token now. And then now I could just attack over the Arcanite, or the Arcanite Magician goes back to my hand, my side of the field. I do have the Avarice drawn, so this is why I love Pot of Avarice, because I could do stuff like that. Top deck it and get a +1. Looks like he draws into the Battle Fader here, so I do have to play into it. What I do is I don't summon. I shift the Gores to attack position. Or the Gores token, I'm sorry. The Gores token is going to do 500 damage because it is at 3,000. I'm not sure why he didn't take damage because he doesn't have the frog anymore. But it doesn't matter. I still win this game. That's a spoiler alert. I set the Nova Summoner and I pass, and then he springs out a Treeborn. Here I'm deathly afraid of a Caius, because this is... Oh, actually no. If he summons a Caius, I'll still be able to survive with 400 life points, but he does not have it. And this is why I love Chaos Sorcerer in Chaos Fairies, is because if he tries to do the Dewfrog lock on me, I can just banish the Dewfrog, and then attack his Substitute in attack position for game, which I do. I summon the Rescue Cat, I go into the Airbellum, into the Raikou, or no, I don't go into that. I summon the Chaos Sorcerer, and then I banish, and then Airbellum to the Substitute is game, because Substitute only has 100 attack position. Only has 100 attack points. Alright, going first, or going second. He special summons a Salt Frog here. He does this pretty mediocre plays. And this is actually incorrect play to ever dump two Treeborn Frog, because I could draw my Soul Release and banish it. So you actually just want to keep only one Substitute in the graveyard. Looks like he wants to go for the bounce the Stratos play and leave the Salt Frog in attack position. I luckily draw into the Summoner Monk with a spell card, so I think I do that play. And then I go for the Airbellum, the double Airbellum. I Synchro Summon into nothing. Okay. So I attack him for 600 and then I attack him for 16. I can take a card out of his hand. He does not have another Battle Fader. And then I nick a card out of his hand. I take out a Stratos, lucky for me, because that was his other +1. And then I Synchro Summon into Arcanite Magician in defense position. And then I let the Airbellum die. So he has to actually deal with this Arcanite Magician. Otherwise, Arcanite Magician is going to attack for 24. In actuality, this should actually be an attack position. I don't know why it's not. Because 24 is bigger than 1800, so I made a misplay there. He special summons a Treeborn Frog here, and then he summons for Caius, so I guess it didn't matter. Maybe I should have Herald of Orange Light the Caius here. This way I can attack directly for 24, but I think I wanted to go for the Gorz play here, because Gorz is pretty large. He activates Soul Exchange here. I don't know why, because he already normal summoned. So, oh, I see. He misplayed. He should have activated Soul Miracle Fusion. So I told him it's a wrong card. It is Miracle Fusion. So this move where he attacked me for 24 directly, I then make the decision to put this attack position, crash into the Caius, and then attack over the Absolute Zero. On this iteration, I was playing Cyber Valley. I do not play Cyber Valley no more. I attack into the token, into the Caius, like I said I was. Attack over 200. I Herald of Orange Light his Absolute Zero, and I attack him directly for 16. And this way I can nick a card out of his hand, so that we will both be at 3 cards. He has the Malicious Edge here. Does have the Treeborn, so he's able to run over my Airbellum. Looks like he goes for the Soul Exchange play so that he could get rid of the biggest threat, but he loses his battle phase. I luckily draw into an Avarice, but if I didn't, I'd have the Cyber Valley to draw 2 cards. Now I draw into the Kai's here, which is lucky for me. I banish the Malicious Edge here. Or no, I go into Goyo Guardian. Okay. Search for Sangan. I think I searched for a DD Crow. No, Rescue Cat. Okay. Attack over the Malicious Edge, steal the Malicious Edge, put in defense position. This way, the Treeborn Frog is actually in danger of being pierced. He draws into Raigeki Break, and he just scoops here. Okay, so that was the game I play against the the Hero Frogs. So it has a decent matchup because of Hero Orange Light, but it also has a really good matchup because of Airbellum and Rescue Cat. So being able to attack the hand is kind of the key to beating this matchup. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'll go on to the next one. Hey guys, this is gonna be another video for the gameplay replays on Duelingbook. So this matchup, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be playing against the Blackwing matchup. That main deck's Starlight Road, so that's gonna be interesting. I decided to play Battle Fader in this build. This was a previous iteration of the Chaos Fairy Cat deck, where I have the Battle Fader because I could search for Battle Fader with Sangan and be able to defend against the OTK decks. So I had to try to decide out Battle Fader. Okay, so game 1 starts. Blackwing player starts off first with the Black Whirlwind with the Shura play. So this is really good for him. Being able to search a Kalut. I would personally search for Air Blizzard because he already has Clute, but that's just me. He sets the Starlight Road to protect against the Heavy Storm play. I draw for turn here. I do have the tomato here, so I think I decide to set the either the Shiny Angel or the tomato because the Shiny Angel is able to get the DD Warrior Lady, but if he does that, he can just go into Catastor and deal with my DD Warrior Lady. So I think I decided to set the Mystic Tomato here. Nope, looks like I decided the the Shiny Angel. I don't know why he doesn't summon the Bora here, but he attacks over with Shura. This could be a hamster, so this would force out the Kalut on his part. So maybe he wanted to do that. So Chain Link 1 is Shura, and then Chain Link 2 Shiny Angel. I think I decided to go into another Shiny Angel. Oh no, I go into the War Lady. So this forces him to go into the Catastrophe play. If he does that, then he loses out on his Icarus attack. So unless he summons another bird, and since he has a normal summon, he goes into the Android, which is incorrect because now I can deal with the Android. He passes turn here, so I don't have to worry about Icarus attack anymore. So I had the option here of summoning the Rescue Cat and doing something, and then going to double Air Bellum. Yeah, but maybe I want to play around the Mirror Force, so I think I either shift this to defense position. Nope, looks like I go for the aggressive play. I go into the Rescue Cat, into the Arabellum, and the Arabellum. So here I can go to the Black Rose line, but the Black Rose line doesn't feel good, so I go into Battle Phase. And then I banish his... I could use the Honest here, but I think I want to banish the Android here. Just in case he plays Chaos Sorcerer, you never know. You just never know he's going to summon a light... banish him for light. So I banish here, and then I attack directly. So very ballsy play on my part, but the reason why I do this is because I do have Battle Fader in my hand in the event he does Mirror Force me. So I try to limit his hand size here, and yeah, pretty much discard another copy. And then this way, if he does summon another bird, I unfortunately side the Vayu. So if he summons a bird, he can equalize and actually go ahead. Draws into the Allure of Darkness, activates the Allure. Draws into the Icarus here. I don't have any back row, so lucky for me that the Heavy Storm is kind of dead. He could summon the... Oh, it looks like he has the ability to go into the Armwing. He could summon the Boar here to search, and then he could search for a Blizzard or a Gale, whichever. Luckily for me, I do have the Battle Fader, so he tries to go into 23 and 25. I think I take this damage, right? Yeah. I take this damage because I wasn't gonna die, and he didn't. He didn't respond to the Rescue Cat, so I can pretty much guess that this card is not an oppression. So I draw for turn here. I think I set the tomato, or I don't do anything. One of the two. Um, Tomato would only go into Summoner Monk, and I don't have any more. I don't have any more Rescue Cat, so I don't know what I do here. I think I just set Tomato. Yeah, he Icarus attacks himself and destroys his own Whirlwind. So this kind of leads me to believe his set is a Solemn Judgment instead of a Starlight. Attacks directly, I Battle Fader him, and it's not. So then I do have enough life points to take the Armor Master and then sacrifice for Christia. I think I go into battle phase first, so yeah. And then I attack. Oh no, I activate Avarice first. So I have the Avarice here to be able to put the 5 monsters back and then draw 2. I think I was hoping to draw into like a MST or something, or Heavy Storm, so that I can safely summon my Christia. And luckily for me, I drew into Heavy Storm. Activate the Heavy Storm here. Destroy the Starlight Road because he wouldn't be able to activate it if he only has 1 back row. Sacrifice for Christia in case he has a way to out Christia. We get into this little argument about Armor Master or being able to tribute summon for Christia. I asked him to read the card, and I'm definitely legally able to tribute summon for Christia. I attack him for 28. He finally concedes that Christia can be normal summon. Looks like he has a Clute in hand, but I do have the Honest, so the Honest will be able to beat over the Clute. So he summons the Sorgo here, I Honest, or he does the Clute first because he is smaller than me, and then I Honest his Chainlink 2, and then he takes 2800 damage. I mean, he takes 14 because Clue's chain link 1. Okay. And then he sets the heavy storm, hoping to, bluff me out. I remind him that he can't special summon with the Christia out. And then I think he just scoops. Yeah, he just scoops. So that game looked pretty grim for me. There was points in the game where it felt like I was gonna lose, but he uses Icarus attack just to deal with the Mystic Tomato. I think he just didn't think I had Battle Fader in this deck, but I did. So I guess the Battle Fader kind of saved me on that one because he did attack me with the Armor Master and Arm Wing, and I didn't have the Battle Fader then, so he probably deduced that I didn't have a Battle Fader. But really, I was just holding it for a different event, being able to tribute summon for Christia. So yeah, I got the game because I was able to force to trick him to Icarus attacking himself, thinking that he had lethal, but he did not, and that helped me win the game for me. Okay, game two is gonna start. So let's see what happens here. I cited in the Nobleman of Extermination because it is against Blackwings, and as I've mentioned in the deck profile, I can hit all his Icarus attack, and then he would not be able to resolve anymore, or deck Devastation Virus if I'm lucky. But if he does have the Icarus attack here, so the Nobleman of Extermination is going to be able to do something. And he does commit a lot of back row, so I'm hoping to hit the Icarus attack and not anything else besides that, and not the Solemn or the Starlight Road. So obviously I'm not going to Heavy Storm first. I Exterminate first, hoping to hit something, and I did hit the Icarus attack, and then I was able to hit. Uh, yeah, it looks like he set it out an Icarus attack against me, which I think is kind of incorrect, but whatever. I don't verify his deck, even though I'm legally able to. I don't care to do that. And so I think what I do here is a Heavy Storm, even though it might be a Starlight Road, because I do have the Deep Prison for the Stardust, and I also have Shiny Angel to deal with the Stardust, because Shiny Angel can go into the DD Warrior Lady. So I set the Shiny Angel and I set the Deep Prison here. And if he summons the boar, he can search, which is good for him. Looks like he tribute summons for Sirocco here and gets a search, double search. So it looks like he wasn't on pure Blackwings. He decided to play the Sangan here and get the Gale. And then he special summons the Gale, I believe. Yeah, and he Sangro summons. Oh, he decides to pump. So the pump here is actually, I felt like that's incorrect because I could just simply Deep Prison. But maybe he was playing around. I mean, he was banking on that being a Mirror Force set. But I Deep Prison here to protect my life points. And he can't attack anymore because of Sirocco. And so here I have the option of crashing all my monster uh, into all his monsters so that I could special summon Christia in main phase 2. And I think that's what I decided to do. Flip the Shiny Angel, and I attack over the Sirocco here. And then I end on a... What do I end on? I think I end on a DD Warrior Lady, and I use DD Warrior Lady to attack into the Gale, because I don't want the Gale to have my Christia. I think that's what happens. Nope, yep. And then main phase 2, I special summon Christia to basically have a Herald of Orange Light target. And then now he has to draw into a Colute of some sort because he did waste his search on the Gale. He puts everything in defense position. I do have the Herald of Orange Light for his Raikou, but I decided to go for the board control first before attacking to the Raikou. I don't banish with DD War Lady. I don't know why he put Sirocco to defense position. And then I attack over the Stardust, and I set the Deep Prison. So I'm in a really good spot here. I don't think he wastes his Typhoon. Maybe he does waste his Typhoon, and then he can flip the Raikou, but I can always Herald of Orange Light here, and then clear out his Raikou. So he sets the value here. I have the option of summoning or attacking the DD War Lady, banishing the value, and I think I do that. Or maybe I don't. Let's find out. I forgot what I did here. Yeah, I don't use the effect and I attack for 28. And then, yeah, pretty much a good sure top deck. Even though he's able to clue over my Christia, I believe that I still have game somehow. Let me see here. The Christia is able to go on top, and I'll have 5 fairies, so that's unfortunate for me. But fortunately for me, he fortunately for me he synchro summons, I believe. Yeah, so he should have got another value and go into a catastrophe, but I think he doesn't have. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt that he actually cited out the value. So the D Word Lady is able to clear the value here, and then I can deal with the I mean I can deal with the clue here with the D Word Lady, and so he still has to deal with the D Word Lady with the Shura. He sets a bottomless trap hole, and I banish his Shura. He thinks he can get the effect. I tell him that it doesn't work that way because the way the subset works. Okay, and then I draw into Chaos Sorcerer, which is good, so that I can actually do some damage here. Ah, looks like I don't have a dark target. Yeah, so then I set the Battle Fader. And then he summons the Bora here, lucky for him. But lucky for me, I do have a way to counteract that. He actually used Kalutz here, so that I would take 3100 damage. And then I special summon the Chaos Sorcerer to deal with the Bora, hopefully that he does not have a Royal Oppression. I Prio banish the Bora, he chains Bottomless. And then I set the... Oh, it looks like I do have 4 fairies now because Chaos Sorcerer was able to take out a fairy. And then I was able to get a monster. And then I can even normal summon this Shiny Angel. Let's see if I do that. I don't do that. And then I set the Bottomless. Okay, not bad. Looks like he texts a card called Fake Feather to be able to copy a trap. This card seems bad. Don't play it. And then he just sets it, hoping to bluff out anything. I just straight up go to battle phase and attack. And then I win the game. Cool. So yeah, I 2-0'd the Blackwing deck, but I guess he was kind of playing pretty poorly. He does play a Raikou randomly, so I don't know if he's on Vibe Turbo or not, but he is playing the Black Whirlwind, so I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that's a gameplay video. Hitting the Icarus attack was pretty big in this matchup because I never had to fear it, but I still had to fear the Torrential, so I guess it's kind of the same. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay video for that. That was my last gameplay video for Chaos Fairy Cats. If you guys want to see another gameplay video, just let me know what you would like to see the matchup for, and I'll post it for you guys. But again, thank you for watching, and peace out.